Okay, I was greatly anticipating the second season of AMC's Interview with a Vampire. I must admit, season 1 got off to a good start. I was glued to the sofa watching the sizzling romance between Louis and Lestat, only to grow disappointed when things ended so badly. For almost a year, I was curious, wondering where the showrunners were going to take the second season. Let's just say that I was pleasantly surprised when they zeroed in on the father and daughter relationship of Claudia and Louis. Unlike the twisted and occasionally diabolical relationship that we saw in season 1 between Louis and Lestat, this season's Louis and Claudia focuses on a bond that is teeming with resentment and, yes, a little bit of regret. Why? Well, because both characters are deeply conflicted. They're conflicted between their desire for power and their need for love. So if you're a big fan of Interview with a Vampire, you're going to want to stay tuned for this one.
I was, and I bit him, and now he...
It's easy to get carried away when you're young and in love.
I always wondered why vampires, unlike regular people, couldn't be power couples. In True Blood, I was rooting for Bill and Sookie. Their chemistry was crazy, and I got butterflies in my stomach watching them fall in love, both on and off the screen. When Bill and Sookie didn't work out and Eric came into the picture, hey, I was feeling that connection too. In fact, I wish that they would have played the whole Sookie and Eric romance theme for at least another 2 seasons. But like most Die Hard fans, I was disappointed, especially how it all ended. Come on, my 5-year-old niece could have written a better ending than that. Talk about a cop-out. Anyway, the real power couple that seems to have a fighting chance is Bella and Edward from Twilight. Sadly, they seem to be more of the exception than the rule.
My brother husband, he just bites the back of my neck and he holds me down till it's over. You're the best I ever had.
With Louis and Lestat, I was feeling the whole swirl thing too. I thought that they would complement each other and help each other grow like Rick and Michonne from The Walking Dead.
Are you up for this?
It's gonna be a fight.
We'll win. We have to.
Then everything hits the fan when Claudia enters the picture and starts to change the dynamic between these two vampire lovers. Lestat seems to go crazy whenever Louis chooses Claudia over him. Why? Well, because when you're a vampire, your desire for power trumps your need to be loved. Throughout season 1, I beat up your ear about how Lestat appeared to be a narcissist. And like most vampires, he's a predator and gets this sick sense of pleasure from inflicting pain on others. Yes, my friends, Lestat was into some serious sick foreplay. He killed his victims nice and slow, rejoicing when he saw the light leaving their bodies. It seemed that throughout season 1, Lestat wasn't just a lover of blood, but also a lover of inflicting pain.
Did you not smile when he begged? Did you not feel pleasure as you carved him up?
Maybe you saw it coming and didn't stop me. Maybe you went quiet on purpose.
You did what you did because it gave you pleasure.
He created an unhealthy dynamic where Claudia and Louis had to be painstakingly submissive. Lestat was the king of the home, even if he didn't have the best intentions for his spouse and daughter. Now, Louis, throughout the years, had grown to accept this arrangement. Claudia, on the other hand, was hell-bent on fighting for her freedom and sanity. More importantly, she was fixated on finding a healthier vampire relationship.
The vampires out there are vicious. Oh, but you've learned that already.
Sadly, throughout season 1, she receives a great deal of disappointment and rejection. First, she falls in love with Charlie, a human, only to mistakenly kill him when feeding. Then she ventures off alone to be attacked by another vicious vampire. Finally, she plans her major escape with Louis, only to be brought back by an enraged Lestat. Claudia is suffocating from the pressure to continuously submit. Thus, she reaches her breaking point and character arc by killing the infamous vampire Lestat. And while Claudia has no issues with burning Lestat alive, Louis is steadfast against it. He really can't let him go, and as a result, he carries a piece of Lestat in his heart. In Season 2, Episode 1 of Interview with a Vampire, Louis is haunted by his memory. Or worse, he is ailing from the heartbreak from losing the real love of his life. Sadly, you'd think that Louis would step up and be the papa bear that Claudia needs. Instead, it's Claudia who drags Louis along on a tight leash. Her goal is to find other vampires. She believes that they will provide her with the love, connection, and sense of community that she craves.
Got me wondering what it'd be like. Ride with others, hunt in a pack.
A little gang of vamps.
Little fang gang.
Claudia believes that if she doesn't find community, that Louis' guilt over killing Lestat will totally consume him. Claudia sees that Louis' sanity is on shaky ground. He suffers from hallucinations and humors Claudia merely to maintain the pace and peace of their tremendous relationship. Claudia is on the desperate pursuit to find other vampires, not just for Louis' sake, but for her own. After all, if Louis' guilt or madness got too out of control, he would leap into the flames, destroying himself and the connection that he has with his vampire daughter. Then Claudia would be faced with the very fears that virtually all vampires have, the fear of being alone. Season 2 of Interview with a Vampire seems to be getting off to a great start. It's not bustling with hot and sizzling romance like the first season. However, it's touching on the loneliness epidemic that many Americans are suffering through right now. In fact, I think that's why we all have this weird fascination with vampires. They represent the worst of our human behavior. They symbolize our need to amass power by sucking the life force out of marginalized people and people living in developing countries. And maybe, like Louis and Lestat, we have consumed so much quote-unquote bad blood that our hearts are left cold.
Drinking misery, hopelessness. It's in the blood. We're taking it in. We're taking it on.
Maybe because we have caused so much harm and strife throughout the world that now we are incapable of finding warmth that comes from real human connection. So what do you guys think about the second season of Interview with a Vampire? Please sound off in the comments below.